Hello, good afternoon. I'm Keuncheol from AI Productivity Team at Samsung Research. I am now developing Deep Dive, which is a deep research report generation services. And today I would like to talk about multi-agent orchestration technology that we used. I will first talk about multi-agent and agent orchestration, and then talk about the results of Deep Dive report generation. When we are doing research in-house, we have to research huge amount of data, and sorting the data out requires a lot of time and effort. Especially identifying the source of data and separating in-house data from external data requires laborious and backbreaking work. And sometimes it leads to duplication or loss of data in the process. If somebody can do the research and identify the key points, the user will be able to focus on more added value work, and that was the motivation behind Deep Research Report Creation Services. This service will enable the usage of various documents, home and abroad, and inside house and outside the company, and provide the research output in a format the user wants. Going beyond the LLM's limit, AI agents can now use the tool to plan and adjust to the circumstances. They can not just answer the questions, but also automate the problem resolution and workflow automation. AI agents can use LLM as an inference engine for planning, uses variety of tools for action, and review the results, update the action, or update the result. Deep Research Report is not just an answer to a question. It goes through search, analysis, sorting, generation, so it cannot be defined as an LLM call alone. We wanted to automate this, and we have decided to use AI agent. AI agentic architecture can use one outperforming agent or have a team of multi-agents. In using one agent, we can develop the services easily, but for dealing with more complicated problems, as we have to use more and more tools, then agent might have a hard time deciding which tool to use for which circumstances. And it can only do one work at a time, so it is not fit for simultaneous execution of various tasks. So we wanted to break one large problem into smaller problems and make each agent focus on small agent and try to introduce multi-agent. Constructing multi-agent can be done in various ways. It depends on how the team can be organized. Orchestrator worker pattern is one. Commander orchestrates everything and team members follow the command. The strength is efficiency and consistency. Peer-to-peer pattern has the team ones collaborating on an equal basis, which is good for diversity. Hierarchical is like a multi-level organization with a mid-level leader. Each layer will focus on the given task, and it is good for unpacking complicated problems. There are various ways to combine the multi-agents, and it depends on selecting the right agents for each subject area. So let's look at the characteristics of multi-agent orchestration for deep dive. We wanted to imitate the human's research process and determine the direction of future humans' research direction, and we came up with 3 stages: plan agent, and then research agent executing the research from various perspectives, and then report agent, we were output layer for generating the final output. For research agent, we have built sub-research agents so that there can be parallel processing of various information. And you can never predict the results of a research. So it's important to have an interim result check so that it can always go back to the previous stage to revise the research plan. Let's take a look at the characteristics of each agent in detail. First, plan agent. Plan agent is for planning the execution of research, depth of research, and approach for research, and also decide what other agents need to do. For example, sales reports for 2025, when there is such a request, plan agent will determine the goals for research agents. First, extract the financial data. Second, identify the market trend. Third, identify the factors that affect the sales. Fourth, to go through the overview of businesses of subsidiaries. So output agent can write the report. Let's look at the inside of plan agent. Plan agent, when it receives a research request, in order to identify the goal, will refer to the previous history data or the source that need to be inferred. Plan agent is a tool that can have access to the previous history, dialogue, and research. And it will establish its own plan and allow the users to intervene to make up for the deficiency in the plan. Such plan will be checked to see whether it's okay for research process and then pass the work to the next agent. Next, research agent. When plan agent breaks the large topic into subtopics, then research agents will ask various questions to find the answers from variety of sources. Such questions are researched in parallel, and the result of the research will be combined together. And if there is need for more research, then additional research can be done, and that information will be refined so that research insight can be identified for smaller research topics. In the output stage, the output of the research will be printed out to express the value of the research. When there are multiple outputs, that the report will be very long. In that case, consistency of context and format would be very important. So multi-agents can be configured in a sequential manner to maintain consistency and reflecting the style document requirements of the users, then using the memory, the initial output requirements of the users will be reflected in the final output, and the output can be printed out in various platforms. Next is multi-agent orchestration, the three key areas. First, human in the loop. Human in the loop is when plan agent plans for the user's requirements, will try to clarify the unambiguous questions from the users to come up with clear requirements. Users will usually enter just the research topic they're interested in instead of asking detailed requirement questions. So the plan agent will play the role of a guide in making the plan more precise and clear. Deep research can use human in the loop, which is a very important process. Next is RAG, used in deep dive. RAG is a critical information to give facts in LLM's response. Deep dive can retrieve from various sources, so orchestrating the query would be really important. Query manager will be used to identify the queries for each characteristic of the source, and adaptive RAG has been used, and the queries should not duplicate but mutually offsetting. Vector keyword-based hybrid search has been introduced, and multi-vector retrieval has been used to search various formats of documents. And when using the extracted information, the source of the information is added to add to the trustworthiness of the response. Next, let me talk about context engineering. Context engineering allows the multi-individual agents to continue to follow the context by refining and managing the information. With the multi-agent, the context for agent will be enriched, so each agent might have a confused as to which work has to be done. So context should be managed, and model's context size is limited, so noise must be minimized, and necessary information need to be developed into a structure to develop the information for the next agent. Context engineering is for generating the research that combines the research from various research agents. The research plan can be expanded into various queries. Each research agent will end up having huge amount of information, and that information needs to be turned into insight for the research purpose. Research at the subtopic can be summarized and refined according to the research topic, and then output layer agent can print out the output based on the goal of the research. Next, let me talk about multi-agent structure application case in printing the deep dive service report. Deep research users are created to conform to the complicated requirements of the users. It can orchestrate the depth of research, and it can classify the requirements based on the depth of the research. So even if it's same topic, it can come up with long reports, shorter reports. This is huge amount of research report, and if you want deep research, it requires more time, but it can come out with huge amount of research output in a consistent manner. In terms of the word pages, it can create as many as 30 pages of output. Research agent, when it concludes the research results, the source document can be maintained to identify the source of the data at a sentence or paragraph level, and users will be able to find out whether the model has created the data or it has been quoted from other research data. Not just for the documents, it can also create infographic reports. Such charts, tables, flow charts can be included in the infographic report. It can also output slides for presentation. And audio style reports can be generated, so people can just listen to the report instead of reading them. And mind map format will allow you to understand the structure of the document easily. Conclusions. Today I've talked about multi-agent orchestration for generating deep research reports. As you have seen, multi-agent has the architecture that is appropriate for creating the output for complicated research. And for optimum quality and performance, we have to find the right way to combine these agents together. And we'll continue to specialize in individual agents, expand our tools so that we can create better report generation services. I hope you can positively review the possibility of introducing multi-agents in your research and services. Thank you very much.